So, well, I will admit I've got more cases than usual on the go. This case just breaks my heart, and this little girl's story needs to be told. This is a Sophia Flanigan, and she was 3 years old. And Monday night, she was stabbed to death by her own mother. I can't even comprehend this. This is another Australian case, and from looking at the mother's Facebook page, I'm wondering if the mother is a little bit of a Laurie Vallow kind of person. So, I'll play a news article first, and then dig a bit further.
We begin with an unspeakable tragedy that's shaken a community to its core. A 3-year-old girl stabbed to death in Bundaberg, allegedly at the hands of her mother. Tonight, tributes for the smiley and bubbly toddler, described by her heartbroken father as the light of his life.
Mid-twirl in her pink princess dress, 3-year-old Sophia Rose, captured in a moment of pure, unfiltered joy. These photos, now a heavy reminder of the little girl's short life, allegedly ended by her own mother in an ultimate act of betrayal.
Yelling, screaming, and
The sleepy community of Moore Park Beach, just outside Bundaberg, jolted alert late yesterday afternoon by the gut-wrenching cries of a child. Neighbours also describe hearing demonic screaming coming from inside the property. Multiple calls were made to 000, but by the time police arrived, it was too late.
I was about to run over the road to try and do what I can, but the little girl was already dead.
Police finding Sophia in the front yard with multiple stab wounds to her tiny body. Her 32-year-old mother, Lauren Flanigan, arrested nearby and charged with murder.
No doubt it was a horrific scene. It's a terrible, terrible incident for everybody.
Flanigan's case was mentioned briefly in the Bundaberg Magistrates Court today. She'll stay in custody until July. Meanwhile, Sophia's father, who was away for work at the time, returning today grief-stricken, with his family home now a crime scene, where tiny clothes still hang on the line beside an abandoned pink bike, haunting signs of an innocent childhood brutally stolen.
There's no indication that there's any long extensive history with police or any other agencies.
I'm still shook up about it now, to be honest. My wife's been in there bloody crying.
Straight to Pat Heaney in Bundaberg. Pat, the community is gathering at Sophia's family church tonight.
That's right, Melissa. The loss of little Sophia has really rattled the Wide Bay community. The church, the local church that the family frequented, has thrown open its doors this evening to anyone who wants to come along and pay their respects. I've also just gotten off the phone with Sophia's distraught father. He says that Sophia was the light of his life and was bubbly. He also gave me a few other words. She said she was always smiling, always wanting to help, just so full of life and love. She just had such a huge heart. So her loss really being felt right across the community here this evening. Many questions remain, obviously, Melissa, and one of those being, why does this happen?
Pat, thank you.
So just a few additional details that are in other sources. Apparently, the mother appeared in court at the Bundaberg Magistrates Court, and her lawyer did not apply for bail. So she's in custody and she will appear again on the 21st of July. As they mentioned, this occurred in the front yard, so multiple neighbours called 000, which is Australia's emergency number. And the worst part about this, I don't know if anything could be worse than what's happened. Her younger siblings were inside the house at the time. She had a 2-year-old little brother and a 1-year-old little sister. Both were in the house. Their father, his name is Jay Ruan, and he's a MMA fighter. So he clearly heads off to do that for work or something like that. So yeah, he wasn't even around at the time. Now, I've seen a few disturbing comments about her Facebook account. And to be honest, there's a bit of it that just gives me Laurie Vallow vibes. So I'm just going to go through some of what is contained in her Facebook. So this is a bit of a summary from one of the media sources of some of the things that she put in her Facebook post, which was basically her last post. You are a warrior of light. Train like it's war, because it is. God is calling his army out of hiding. This kingdom is rising. We move, we build, we burn with holy fire. No more delays, no more compromise. And it finishes with, tag your generals, it's time to rise. Honestly, if that doesn't give you Laurie Vallow vibes, I don't know what does. I think she has some serious mental health issues. Now, she does claim on her Facebook account that she is a victim of domestic abuse, and she shows images where she's showing bruises on her arms. And this is actually part of a video, but I'm not going to play the video. But she basically has all these phrases, all these calls to fight, essentially, with her images. I haven't shown all of them, but this one here, Another Love That I've Taken, I find that incredibly disturbing in light of what has actually occurred. And you'll note that she's called herself Lauren, Faith and Freedom. Not just plain old Lauren Flanigan, Lauren, Faith and Freedom. And listing her things, she's actually got faith above family. Faith, family, future, fitness. Built for wealth, wired for freedom. Well, you're not going to get any wealth now, my dear. Now, before I read this, I just want to point out, and I'm certainly not someone to gaslight someone who is suffering with domestic abuse, but I want to point out that the red welts, the bruising we see, she's only showing that on her arms, which to me, it makes me ask, are they actually defensive wounds where she's lost her shiz with her husband and he's had to hold her off? Because we don't see, she hasn't shown any injuries anywhere else. I mean, clearly she is somewhat mentally unstable, so it wouldn't surprise me in the least if she has been violent towards her husband in the past. I mean, there's also the possibility that she has been subjected to DV, and that she's just completely snapped. But certainly there's problems here with her mental health, and there is no excusing what she did to this child. So she's said here, you know, to every woman who's lived through DV, this is for you. I know what it feels like to walk on eggshells, to silence yourself to survive, to feel more like an object than a human in your own home, to question your worth, your safety, your reality, just to keep your peace for everyone else. I know what it's like to be physically and verbally abused, gaslit, isolated, controlled. And I know the moment when something shifts and you decide, no more. Today I walk into battle, not just for myself, but for every woman who's ever had to protect her children from someone who promised love and protection, but delivered harm and pain. I'm standing for truth, for safety, for justice. Well, I definitely have some concerns. I mean, that actually doesn't sound nearly as disturbing as her final post where she's talking about it being time to rise, but when you put it all together, it's just a little bit disturbing. And meanwhile, this beautiful little girl it cost her her life. Now, I'd imagine that her lawyer is going to make a plea based on mental health. And this being Australia, she'll probably only serve a handful of years in jail before being released. So this is a rather sad video, but I just felt it was one that I wanted to talk about because it is so earth-shattering. And I can't imagine what it must have been like for all those neighbours to be there while this was happening, to be helpless, to be unable to do anything. And for that man who was, going to go over there and try and drag her off. I mean, how do you live with something like that? It would just be such a horrible trauma to experience. And for the police officers and the ambulance staff who tried to rescue her, they tried first aid on her, and obviously, the injuries were just too much. I really hope that this time round the Australian justice system doesn't mess this one up, and that this woman does get put away for a very, very long time. I will certainly keep you posted when she has her first appearance in July. So that's about all I have to add on this case for now. It's not a great deal of information right now, but my heart goes out to the entire family of this beautiful little girl. And I hope that there will be justice for her. So on that note, thanks for listening, and I will catch you in the next one.
Rest in peace, 3-year-old Sophia Flanigan. God damn, I hate doing this. 3 years old, taken from this world in what can only be described as horrific circumstances. Her mother, whose name doesn't matter, has been arrested and charged with her murder. There is no excuse under the sun that makes murdering or even hurting a child even slightly okay. Do not talk to me about mental health. Do not talk to me about postpartum depression. Do not come at me and talk about parental rights. None of those things make it okay to kill a 3-year-old girl. Not one is a valid excuse for the murder of a 3-year-old girl. Apparently, her father's screams could be heard around the neighbourhood, and my heart absolutely breaks for him. There was 2 other children in this house whose nothing happened to, nothing that we know of, and I sincerely hope that them and the father are getting the help they need.